that mine has been around longer than the United States. And they fell off a cliff and hit their head and died.
I'm on my 7th Quest Pro right now, right? And I didn't buy 7 Quest Pros.
7.
He's wearing a Pico 4. He's like, China's the best country ever. So, dude, anything you do in VR, outside of VR, you look absolutely redonkulous. Why is your fursuit so heavy? It's made of Kevlar and tears.
Yes, oh my
I'm
gosh,
at the creator.
I love that comment.
And then somebody goes, Toivo left his hat in here. Toivo left his hat in here.
There's just a line of sweat behind them. You can see the footprints, right? I licked arsenic salts in Death Valley, and I didn't realize there were arsenic salts until I had done that.
Welcome to Virtual Minds. I'm your host, Fawxy Ventures, and I'm here with a good friend of mine, Smallfern. So I've been friends with Smallfern for about a year now, and just a little bit less time than I had with Smiley, but a good friend nonetheless. Smallfern used to make avatars. They used to be an artist, I would say, but they are a geologist in trade.
Yes, look, I am a nerd among nerds when it comes to geology. Like, I'm incredibly passionate. When I was going through school, like, my classmates would be like, shut the hell up. Like, we get it, we know. Shh,
We get it, the rocks.
Yes. No, that is one thing I'm really lucky about. I think I have found my career passion. I'm very happy with it. But yeah, no, like, obviously, as you know, I used to do avatars. I did, one of your first ones.
Yeah. I actually put it in the most.
You got now, which I love.
Yeah, which I actually put that avatar in the most recent video, which will not be the most recent video since whenever this is posted, but it was the most recent video as of today, and it was the one of without and with eye tracking and face tracking video where I run into the wall. So I actually used that avatar for the very first time in one of my videos, which I thought you would probably get a kick out of.
Oh my god, most certainly did. I love it too. Just looking down. Don't look. It was really, really funny.
And I thought it was really funny that so in the comments on TikTok, someone goes, "Oh, you two are so great together," and I'm like, "It's just me in the video."
Oh my gosh!
Me in the video.
Hey, Fawxy, self-love is really important, and obviously they think you really love yourself.
I reckon.
There you go.
I guess. Like, oh my god,
man.
that's so great.
So great.
It's kind of funny. I really started getting into kind of doing voice acting. I guess it would just be straight up voice acting, not on purpose. I mean, well, I guess it would be on purpose. But on my USS Chosimba videos, all 7 characters is me. I just made up 7 different voices. and the chick on there, she I have her talk like this. This is so awful.
My name's Florence. I've been smoking 5 packs a day for 30 years.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's kind of what I was portraying.
Yeah.
And
oh man, I would fucking love to do voice. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah. I would love to do voice acting. Like, obviously, it's not something I've ever been able to do, but I do love, like, kind of goofy impressions and such. Like, one that I'm kind of proud of is, do you know who Dr. Doofenshmirtz is?
I can't say that I do.
Phineas and Ferb?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Ah, Petty platypus. How unexpected.
That kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
So I can't do it as much as I could in the past because it really hurts my voice, but that's one of my favorite ones. It's like, if I ever voice act him in like a stupid fucking cartoon, please sign me up. That's me. Let's do it. So
I mean it kind of translates into content creation, especially in the VR side, because nobody sees your face and nobody really knows the voice behind the avatar. So if you just find an avatar and make a voice, people will associate that voice with that avatar, and it's kind of funny. It's like, because if you really think about it, if you think of some kind of popular, for instance, right? Let's I always use I always use Bardic as an example, but
Bardic, okay.
yeah. So imagine me in Bardic's avatar, right? It would not fit. It would not fit because they have used that avatar for such a long time, or that texture or whatever, that whenever somebody else would get into that avatar, you're just like, nah, that doesn't work. Like, that's not right. No, I can't do that.
Sure. Well,
But if you don't, then nobody has like an identity to put into that avatar, and it's really kind of interesting. And it's like this avatar, for instance. The only time people ever find this avatar, this is actually a public avatar, okay? And I'm creating an avatar that's kind of like a mirror version of this. And by the time this video comes out, I'll have already introduced it. But
oh my gosh, yeah. I'm excited to see it.
But it's got a fur brush, so it's a little bit different, and it's got more advanced face and eye tracking. But this is in the face and eye tracking world, and one of my fans, I guess, and I guess friends, they popped into Furry Hideout with me, and they go, oh, look what I found after I got face and eye tracking, and then they go, boop, and they pop in this avatar, and I was like, yep. I was like, you're like one of like 3 people that knows where that is. That's funny.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
And they're just like,
the thing is, it's like,
because all the avatars
I don't
use
feel
face and eye
like
tracking
inhabiting. Now. Yeah. Well, now they do. Yeah, which is nice.
Yeah.
Of course, after mine dies, right?
Yeah. No shit.
Opposed to, folks that are listening, I used to have face tracking, I had eye tracking, I had full body, I had
did
the
it
whole
when it was
yards, y'all, and it was
I was
great.
a cool one. I did it first. I did it before it was cool.
Up. No, I did it the janky ass
here.
way, buying a headset off of eBay that it was the HP Reverb G2 Omnicept, right? It's a commercial headset. You can't fucking find it anywhere. I only saw one on eBay ever, and excuse me, I just muted myself because I'm really smart. I gotta buy this. So I did. It worked fine. Super awesome. I get these homemade, like, homebrew slimes. They were interesting, to be certain. I would like have to fix them like every 45 minutes. Something needed to get resoldered or some crap like that. But I finally had it all together. I had the HTC module on the headset. I had the eye tracking working. I had the full body. And like 2 weeks later, my headset dies.
Yeah, I remember that. And then you vanished. And then you just fucking vanished.
Oh yeah.
For the longest fucking time. And I was like, damn it, is Fern ever gonna get back
summer?
on? Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess it was summer. I was gonna say, to be fair, you were pretty damn busy. Also, you went to Norway, right?
Oh yes, I did.
Tell me about that.
Here's the really fun thing.
Yeah.
Is you guys, like, okay, folks who are listening can look this up because there was only about 20 people that did what I did, and so you can guess who it was. Have fun with that. Yeah, so I got to go to Norway under the banner of the ISFIT Dialogue program. It was like a political conference over there, where they took folks across the U.S., different states, different ideologies, that kind of a thing, and they had everyone sit down and just kind of like talk through some of the biggest issues in the country. Like, what do you think they are? How should we handle them? How should we tackle them? And so it was a really interesting experience. Norway itself was just gorgeous. I was lucky enough to stay in Røros, which is this small mining town up in the mountains. I was there back in like January, February, and so it was just cold as balls outside.
Yeah, it's cold as part of the year.
Like, oh my gosh. Yes. But it was just amazing. There was one night there, I was able to see the northern lights. Just gorgeous. There was reindeer herds outside of the cabin almost every day. I got to tour a mine there that had been operating since like 1609.
Oh wow.
Like, it was crazy stuff. It operated from 1609 to 1970. Like, literally, like, you gotta think about that in terms of U.S. history, too. That mine has been around longer than the United States, and it just kind of blows my mind. So, yeah, amazing stuff. Yeah, and after that, I got to go to the bigger conference at large, and that was in Trondheim, which was a little bit further north, but it was on the coast, so it was kind of a Seattle climate almost. It was snowy, but it was a little bit warmer. Really lovely people, really lovely city. I just had a fantastic time. And my gosh, fantastic conversations too. So,
That sounds awesome,
Yeah,
man.
it was fantastic. It was an awesome opportunity.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been able to travel across the Atlantic? Have you
overseas?
been
No,
over,
I haven't been able to go overseas yet.
Yeah.
No, I think
damn. If you ever get
next
the
year I
chance.
might. It's either next year, maybe even the year after. I'll start going around. But yeah, no, I have my passport. I just haven't ever gotten to cross the border. And I've lived as close to freaking Mexico as you can get, close as Canada as you can get. And I still haven't crossed. But yeah, I'll probably end up going into Canada before too long, just to say I've been there.
Canada. Okay, pause really quick. Whenever I think of that, I think Santa Claus 2, when they're all in the North Pole and they're trying to convince the parents that it's Canada. I don't know if you've ever seen that movie, but it's my favorite. It's my favorite. But if you were to go overseas, where would you want to go? Like, what are your kind of destinations you would like to see?
Oh, dude, I'm gonna hit everything. One of my brothers went to Cambodia and Vietnam. Where else did they go? They hit UAE. They went to UAE. The
United Arab Emirates, right?
Yeah. Yep. United Arab
okay.
Emirates. The only my dad was in, I think, 72 countries and 3 conflicts whenever he was in the military, and yeah, he'd been around. Then my grandfather was in Vietnam and so on and so forth. But actually even my mom was in the army.
Oh man,
I know.
There's like military family all around. I guess.
Oh, dude, yeah. It's like a Lieutenant Dan situation. I'm not kidding. Like, my family's been in every conflict since the revolution, and it's funny because we actually came over from Germany, right? And they went into where was it? I think they went into Florida. Is where they came into, but then they went up north to like Kentucky area, and eventually, right? But they fought the revolution, and I was like, oh my god, we've been in everything.
Oh man,
yeah. And
I have a fun. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say, but I really plan on seeing most of Europe. I'm not really super interested in like the Balkan states, which I might go over there. I'm not sure. But just with what's going on right now over in Ukraine, I was like, probably steer clear of that. And also the fact that we've had to send troops over there recently to quell some issues with what was it? Is it Slovakia? And I can't remember the other country right now, but they were having issues because of the Serbs and all that. And it was an issue where they called in NATO troops to do some peacekeeping operations. And so, and I had a friend that went over there. I do want to go over to Japan. I want to go to Korea. I want to go to Australia. I want to hit the fucking UK. I want to go everywhere, right? I even want to go to, as weird as it sounds, like even it's like South Africa. I want to go to Madagascar. I want to see all the crazy cool stuff. I want to go to Fiji. I want to go to, I actually want to go to Peru. I actually have a friend who is a naturalized citizen in the United States from Peru, and I started giving him shit, and I was like, "How do the guinea pigs taste?" Because that's an actual thing that they eat over there. And he goes, "Yeah, it's actually not that bad." And I'm just like, I was kidding, but okay. He's like, he goes, it was like a thing to have like their own little farm type deal with all these guinea pigs. And oh man, yeah. He was like, they don't taste too bad.
You know, you put them on the barbecue, they're like,
they have like no necks. They have like no necks, man. They just, I don't even know how you would.
A joke, but yeah, that's terrible. Sorry if anyone listening has guinea pigs. I have nothing against them. They're very. We
don't have
adorable.
anything against them, but Peruvians like to eat them, so keep them away from them.
Yeah, you know, they have something for them.
hey, I'm sure they taste good.
No, but
I mean. Got that in Bahamas?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if they eat llamas.
No,
You know, that's
I don't
crazy.
think they eat the llama. Well, fuck, I don't know if they do, but I don't think they do.
I don't know if you're hungry enough.
Definitely use them as pack mules. I mean, fuck, I would, especially up in that terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. I bet.
I mean, my gosh, Peru and Argentina just have gorgeous mountains too. Like,
Oh yeah.
I would love to go down there and visit, if only for the geology. Like, genuinely, it's just amazing.
You know, it's funny. I actually have a friend here in vrchat that they're from Argentina, and
Really?
I talked to her for a while, and at one point I was like, she was always on desktop mode, right? And I was like, hey, are you ever going to actually get a headset, or are you just wanting to do that? And she goes, well, I'm not kidding. This is what she said. She goes, I would probably get a headset in about 5 years. 5 years? What? Why? And then she goes, well, the government puts a lot of customs taxes on imported technology, and she said that for a Quest 2 in her country, brand new, it was I think she said $1,200 US.
Shit.
Yeah.
Could someone buy them that and then ship it in and it not be crazy expensive?
So this is what I asked her. I said, well, I have a Quest Pro now. And this is back in January, I think. And I was like, well, I have a Quest Pro now. I have no use for this Quest 2. If I were to mail you this Quest 2, would you want it? And she goes, well, I can't afford it. I go, no, that's not what I asked. Like, I'll ship it for free. I don't give a shit. I don't want to sell it to somebody who's going to go, oh, this is cool, and then put it on a shelf and never fucking use it again. I want it to be used, right?
Exactly.
Because I believe the VR is a hell of an experience that once you get that hook, you'll understand. You'll understand how VR is.
Oh, yeah.
And for anybody that's listening, if you haven't gotten into VR like a lot of us have, it's quite interesting and kind of life-changing. You get to see people that you would have never met in the real world, yet they are in the real world. And I have been on several trips this year, from Mardi Gras to Denfur to Anthrocon to Texas. I have been everywhere this year, meeting people simply off of VRChat. And you actually get to see the body language of how somebody is, so you can pretty much judge how a person is going to be in the real world. Yet you talk on Discord.
By and large.
Yes.
By and large.
For the most part. For the most part.
There are some wackos.
Well, you've had a bad experience with that. I will say that.
Oh, Lordy, yeah. we can talk about that if you want to.
Oh, we can.
I'm not going to bring that up, but just like, I have very hateful things to say, so maybe not.
I get it. Well, I mean, whenever I had Shadow on, dude, oh my god, he was just, well, this puppy fur, it is just throwing names, and she's so angry.
Well,
he's such an angry person.
Oh man, yeah. Well, no, going back to what you were saying though about like meeting people in the game and then like going to real life, threads. Like for example, I'm not gonna name names or some shit, but I'm moving down with some friends I met in this game, right? Like going down there to really launch, right? Earlier this summer, I got to go. Actually, I don't think I ever told you about this, Fawxy. I got to go out to Utah and go rockhound topaz in the mountains for a week.
Wow.
And that was so much fucking fun. I came back with 3 pounds of raw topaz, like gemmy raw topaz. That's amazing. Not to mention, I was also rockhounding something there called Bixbite, or red barrel, or whatever you've heard. It is a form of red barrel, which is also emerald and aquamarine, so a couple different other precious gems, right? But this stuff is so fucking rare. It's found in 8 places in the world, right? And there's only maybe 1 or 2 places where it's found where it's actually gemmy. And so you get like a proper gemstone quality piece. I didn't. That's okay. I had a lot of fun regardless. But if you get a proper gemstone quality piece, like it's $1,000 to $10,000 a carat,
Oh, wow.
A fifth of a gram. It's nuts. Like nuts. That being said, the mine we went to was extremely dangerous. third day I was there, someone else was trying to come up to the mine, and they fell off a cliff and hit their head and died.
Oh.
And they had to have their body heli-vac'd out.
That sounds about right.
It was like, we didn't know what was happening, right? So we start hearing helicopters, and we're like, well, what's going on, right? And it was a rescue helicopter coming like maybe 100 feet from us. Like, it's just the craziest stuff. Craziest stuff. So,
Wow.
yeah,
That's
anyway, TLDR, you get a lot of cool, you meet a lot of cool people, you have a lot of cool opportunities with that. Crazy shit happens, though. My gosh. So.
Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of crazy shit that happens. And I actually told a story of Mardi Gras with Balco and Archer on the very first episode of this podcast, because they were my very first guests. And so we told the whole story, and it was really fun. But to continue off of what I was saying about my friend from Argentina, I ended up mailing it to her, right? And Customs held it, and they were like, "How much does this cost?" Right?
Lordy.
And I was like, motherfucker's paid off. Like, the fuck? And and so she ended up having to pay, I think it was like $300 or maybe $400 altogether for everything, right? And that's not to me. I mailed it off. I paid for the shipping and everything, right? And she had to pay like $400 just to get it out of customs. That's feels a little
crazy. Corrupt. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
well,
I'm not
it's a
calling any
communist
names
country.
here.
No, it's a communist country.
Oh,
it is. It is.
Oh, yeah.
And even she is.
Them,
even she hates it. She's like, there's an election coming up, and we're gonna start. She's like, everyone's pissed, and we're gonna start getting rid of these people because they're causing a lot of issues in this fucking country. And so that's
like geez Louise.
Yeah, because they're just taxing
You
the
said
fuck out of
Peru,
everything. Right? No, Argentina. She's in Argentina. But
Argentina, that's right. Okay,
yeah.
Have you seen their libertarian candidate?
I don't keep track of other countries' stuff, man. I got enough going on in this one.
That's fair. I'm not going to talk too much in detail about it because frankly it's not my country and I don't know enough. But he has a lot of really good shit to say. At absolute minimum, his hair is fantastic. Like, I wish my hair was like that, right?
Good.
He looks okay. The best way I can describe it, it looks like he walked out of Austin Powers. Like,
yes,
it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yes.
But no, he I think he wants to remove was that whatever. I'm not going to talk details because I'll just make a fool of myself. But yeah, basically go look him up. I think his name is like Xavier or Javier or something like that. Yeah. Anyway, there you go.
But. Yeah, so she was pissed about that, but she ended up getting it, and I think she uses it almost on a daily basis now. Like, yeah, ever since she got it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, and so I was like, I feel good. I was able to give it to somebody that that is actually going to use it. Now, unfortunately, whenever a new headset comes out, like probably the Pico 5 or something like that, So every time I'm on my 7th Quest Pro right now, right? And I didn't buy 7 Quest Pros.
7th.
Yeah. so
Lordy.
I've had to replace it because the face and eye tracking is fried, right? And whenever it fries, I contact Meta support and they just go, "Okay, we'll send you a new one." And so they send me a new one and I send them the old one back. And then I don't have to pay. I don't pay anything for the replacement. They just send it for free. Yeah. And then the warranty restarts every time I get a new one.
Oh my gosh. So how long have you been chaining the warranties?
So I had the same headset, and it's a 1-year warranty, right? I had the same headset from January until June. And then from June, I went through 6 headsets. And this month is October. So whenever this is being recorded. And
Lordy.
Yeah, man, it was bad, and I'm on my 7th. So my mindset is I'm just gonna keep using the Quest Pro until like the Pico 5 or something that even better comes out, right? And then I'll be like, I want a refund. Yeah, just get a refund and buy a new headset.
Yeah, if you can keep chaining the warranties, you're like 3 days away from me. You're like, take a fucking knife and go,
I want a warranty. No, I ain't gonna break it.
One thing to be aware though with Pico 5.
Yeah.
So I believe Pico is owned by ByteDance, and ByteDance is pretty much in bed with the CCP.
Yeah, so it's a Chinese company. Oh,
like,
absolutely.
They're gonna take your data anyway. Like Meta's so much better, right? But just
But it's American. It's an American company.
America. Yeah, because that's better. Oh gosh.
Oh,
Yay.
I'm aware. And I talked to Dar. You know Dar, right?
I don't think I do.
Oh, you didn't meet Dar. He's
I don't think I've met Dar.
He's always hanging out with. Well, I shouldn't say always, but most of the time he's hanging out with like Smiley. And he's a Spanish furry.
Oh, maybe
right now,
I have been.
Right now he's
like I was saying, it's been kind
an
of
Avali.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's his favorite avatar right now, is being an Avali. And
is it DARR? 2 R's?
DAHR. Yeah, VR.
No, I do know who that is.
Oh, okay,
It's been a while since I've seen them, but I think they're on my friends list because the Avali sounds familiar.
He's such a good bean. So he So I was talking to him about the Pico, and he was like, "Yeah, I have the Pico 4," and I was like, "Oh, that's actually pretty cool." And he has the face and eye tracking too, right? And he can stick his tongue out and all that. I'm like, well, fuck, right? I don't have that.
Well, yeah.
But he goes, whenever we were talking about the Pico 5, he goes, yeah, but Fawxy, I just want to let you know, if you put it on, just don't say anything bad about China because it might blow up in your face. He's like, China's great. China's great.
You have like a fucking social credit score.
He's wearing a Pico 4. He's like, China's the best country ever. It's fucking awesome.
Damn it, dude. Oh, man. Oh, that is too good. Oh, man. So, with the face tracking, what do you use? Or do you, excuse me, you don't have any face tracking, do you? Or do you?
Yeah, face and eye tracking.
Face and eye. Okay, I didn't know if the Quest Pro was just eye or face and eye.
Oh, it's both.
So,
it's both.
It's
integrated into the headset.
It's both, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have the all-in-one, sir.
Exactly,
the
and that's what I wanted.
Face tracking.
You got a big thing on your face.
But it didn't work. So I had double-sided tape, and I literally just stuck the HTC Vive module right in front of my fucking face, and I'm like, please just let this be right. Please let this just be right. It was a little it worked. It worked, you know? Just a little bit.
So on one of my videos, okay, it was like a drill instructor, you know, that's yelling at me and another me. It's all me, but but he's yelling at me. And then there's a part where I'm doing a low crawl, and I'm like going crying on the ground, right? And and somebody goes in the comments, they go, how funny would it, like, how weird would it be if somebody walked in on somebody with a headset on, crying and whimpering on the ground, like, trying to film it? It was like, oh my god, outside, dude, anything you do in VR, outside of VR, you look absolutely redonkulous. Like, you just look dumb as hell.
No, I mean 100%. It is dumbass simulator. Like, you always play dumbass. You know
that brick strapped to your face, right? It's like, oh, what do you do with that? It's like, you don't understand. It's just different.
Yeah. Well, no. Here's my favorite too. When like you got all the full body on, right? You got straps everywhere. Unless you got fucking angle monitors on and shit, right? Like crazy stupid. And then you're just sitting on your bed. Got all the fucking full body.
What are they doing?
Right? That's one thing. You guys don't play this game. So many people with full body are just like, yeah, I spent $1,200 on Vive trackers. I'm gonna sit in my chair now.
By the way,
it's goofy.
So one thing that I talked to Shadow about, and you'd probably agree with me on this. Mm-hmm. So whenever it comes to like furries, right? If you go to a furry convention, did you know that there's like a split between VR furries and IRL furries? Like people with fursuits.
No way.
Did you know that there's a fucking split? Because
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't have $4,000 to drop on a mascot.
No. And so whenever I was talking with Shadow, he goes. Well, you spent $5,000 on a fucking fursuit. I spent $5,000 on a fucking computer, and I'm just like, huh.
Yeah,
I was like,
you're right.
I was like, yeah, you're right. We're both spending a shit ton of money, you know, for these computers and everything, just to be whatever the hell we want to be. But why are you giving me shit about not being in a suit? Like, so I'll say the story, but if anybody has actually listened to these episodes all the way up until now, and they've seen the episode with Shadow, there is a point where I talk about whenever I went to Denfur, and I went to the TikTok panel, right? They had a couple of famous fursuiters that
Yeah, the Tic Tacs.
that did TikToks, and they were like, I know, and they were like,
I live under a rock.
Yeah, no, I get it. But they were like, yeah, and the VRchat furries, they aren't sweating in these suits, doing these little dances and stuff. And I was like, okay, whenever it comes to the Q&A, it's my turn. so when it came to the Q&A, I get up there, I get the mic, right? And then I walk up there and I was like, hey, I'm Fawxy Ventures, and I just wanted to say something or ask a question about hashtags, but I know that you hate us VRchat furries, so I'm not sure if you're going to answer it. We just laughed.
Oh my god. Oh, that's great.
They're just like...
It's so funny. It's so funny to me that it's such a fucking niche. I mean, it's a hobby to me. I don't know about you, but it's a fucking hobby. It's a niche-ass hobby.
A niche of a
and
niche.
people are like, we're gonna draw the lines. You weren't cool with us. We spent $4,000 on a suit. Oh, you know what you can't do? You can't do this.
Oh,
God.
God.
Some dumbass avatar like this, right? Yeah. Hi, Vector. Oh
Yeah,
that
from
whole
The
fucking thing.
Incredibles.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, no. What the fuck are you saying, Incredibles? It's from Gru, or what is that called? Despicable Me.
Shit, that's right.
I'm so good with movies too.
No, you're
My
right.
point
You're
with
right.
that is that's like though they spend $3,000-$4,000 on a suit. I'm not gonna lie, they look fucking awesome.
Oh, they do.
I'm happy
They do.
for them, but it's like you have to worry about them getting dirty. You have to worry about them getting sweaty, right? Like I don't know how you clean them. I don't know how you wash them. I wouldn't want to repair them. Not to mention, how the fuck are you gonna hide that, right? Like, where's that gonna go? Do you have like one of those things where it's like it just like opens up a wall and it's just sitting there and there like a suit of armor, right? It's like I'm gonna gear up, bitch. Like, I don't know.
Fuck yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Furry armor.
So I don't know.
Why is your
I don't know.
fursuit so heavy? It's made of Kevlar and tears. Oh my god.
That's great. Oh, dude. I do not envy how hot those suits get, though. I know they have cooling stuff, like cooling shirts or suits or whatever. I just, no thank you.
You know, I wouldn't mind
No,
having a
thank you.
suit. And I've actually talked to the guest of honor at Denfur, who is a mechatronics engineer. Fucking awesome. So,
Really?
Oh, dude.
Shit.
Dude, he made some of the coolest stuff. And I talked to him as well as one of the other vendors. So I went to to the dinner, right? For the super sponsors or whatever. And I was like, hey, I'll splurge a little bit, have a little bit extra fun. So I went over there.
Yeah.
And I didn't know anybody. The only person I knew was Azuki, right? And Azuki's always off doing his own thing. And we'd get together and hang out every now and then and go do fun stuff, go eat, whatever. And we did the same thing at Anthrocon. So it's really cool seeing him across the country in different places.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I didn't know any of these people. I just got my fucking food and I sat down at a table and I was just eating. And then some random dude comes up and he goes, can I sit there? I was like, yeah, bro, come on. And he's like, okay. So he sits down, and then we're just sitting there eating. And then some other people sit down. Well, I didn't realize that the guest of honor was sitting at my table, and I started shooting the shit with them. And then we really hit it off. Like we were like really, really friendly with each other. And then I also had one for the cocktail hour. That was fun. So same thing. I just sit down. And a couple of the people that were there at the dinner were there too. And so they sat down with me. And then the other guest of honor sat down. And we just started shooting shit. Have you ever heard of the comic Foxes in Love? The little green and blue foxes?
Yes! Oh my gosh, I love that comic.
I met the creator.
Oh my gosh, I love that comic. It's like one of my favorites.
Yes. So he was one of the guests of honor. He flew all the way down from Finland. He came from Finland. And
Finland, okay.
Yeah, I came from Finland.
Moses, that's quite far.
His name is
Denfur is a big con. I wish I would have. I wish I was able to go.
It was like a medium con, right? Because it was like, I think it was 5,600 people or 5,300 people, something like that, or maybe it was 4,300.
It's more than the population of my town.
Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty busy, but there was a few issues with it. We'll get into that later. But But anyway, so he came down and sat down at the table with me, right, along with the other guests of honor and some other guys who and a couple gals that they were already like best friends, right?
Yeah.
And so I just sat there, just some rando dude, and I'm shooting shit with every fucking person at the table. And we all get along so much that they're like, hey, you want to go to a room party? I was like, fuck yeah, you know I do. And so we go up there. And
Shit.
But the thing is, we had to be quiet in Denfur because they actually had roaming security to shut down room parties. They shut down like 8 or 9 parties the entire convention. I was like, well, that fucking sucks.
Damn.
So it was like a college party, like straight up like a college room party where everybody just sits in there and everybody's just shooting shit and drinking whatever the hell's in there. And dude, the dude's name is, and I'm gonna say his name because I can. It's because it's on the cover of his damn book. But Toivo is the guy's name. Yeah. And me and him really shot the shit. And he was such a wholesome person. So he had a panel the next day, right? I left at 3 a.m. at the party, okay? And then
3 a.m.
he left at 5.
Dude.
He left at 5 a.m.
No.
And he was late. He was late for his panel by like 20 minutes.
Oh no.
And everyone was like, where is he? And he shows up and he's like, I am so sorry. I had to I think he was like, I had to take a shower, or he didn't take a shower or something. I can't remember, but he was like, I couldn't make it, and he's like, I don't have my hat, because he always wears a hat everywhere he goes. And we were all in a group chat on Telegram, right? And then somebody goes, Toivo left his hat in here. Toivo left his hat in here. I gotta take it to him. He's got his panel going. So I get to the panel. I get down to the panel, and I'm like near the end, so I just jump in to see what's going on. And he goes in, and the dude comes in with the camera and hands him his hat, and he's like, "There you go, man." Like all of us are hungover as fuck. Just hungover as fuck. And
oh shit.
Oh man, Toivo's such a wholesome person though. Yeah, he was like, I am so cold here. I was like, really? He's like, I need something
cold?
warm. Yeah, because they kept it at a really cold temperature, and he didn't bring anything.
Like 60s?
Yeah, it was something like that. And he didn't have anything like long sleeves. He didn't have anything.
Really strange considering he's from motherfucking Finland.
I know, but it was summer. It was summertime, right?
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
And he didn't, and it was like over 100 degrees outside. So he was going from 100 into 60. Oh yeah.
Oh,
dude, you should have seen the furries walking around outside. I was like, dude, that dude's gonna die of heat stroke. I was like, oh,
there's just a line of sweat behind them. You can see the footprints, right? The suit is soaked through. That's terrible.
Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
By the way,
I don't know. Colorado's a really beautiful state.
Okay, dude. Okay, maybe the west side of Colorado is, because when I was fucking driving in, there was nothing. There's fucking nothing out there. Like, Jesus Christ, it's nothing as far as you could see. I'm just like, there's not even any buildings. There's grasshoppers and flies. That's all there fucking is.
Welcome to the Great Plains. I'll dox myself because I'm leaving the state in a week, but I love Colorado. And I live in a bumfuck middle of nowhere town on the plains where there's jack shit.
Dude, it's really weird. Like,
yeah.
God, and I like driving everywhere. And not only because of my fancy little car, but because I like to see the fucking U.S. I know. But I like to see the U.S. I
don't know.
I talked to my dad. Like, I talked to my dad, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like, why don't you just fly? It's like, well, because I want to drive. And he goes, there's nothing out there. I'm like, well, I haven't been there. How the fuck am I supposed to? Like, I know there's nothing out there, because that's what everybody tells me. But I haven't experienced that, right? I'm gonna experience it. I'm gonna drive out there. I'm gonna drive to Texas. I'm gonna drive to, I don't know, fucking California or something, right? Just to fucking go places. And go see things. Yeah. Everything along the way.
Enjoy the journey.
Exactly. And I do a lot of thinking. Mm-hmm. I do a lot of thinking on those drives, and that's also another reason why, because everything. No, but that's another thing. So I liked having solitude time, right? I like to sit there and refine my thoughts and and listen to podcasts and music and whatever. And I can do that whenever I drive across the country. Yes, I know my car drives itself.
Exactly.
And that allows me to fucking drift off with my mind. So,
do you have like a Tesla or some shit? I forget.
Yeah. I have a Tesla Model 3 right now, which hopefully by the time this podcast comes out, I have the Cybertruck, but we'll see.
Hey, well, best of luck to you. If you don't want your old car, you can give it to me. I got no car from like 05, 06.
I'm gonna trade that bitch in. Like that's a lot of fucking equity. Like it's going in.
Yeah, turn it into me. Like you did the headset, remember?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Oh man. No, but yeah, I mean, what did you think of the wide open spaces where there's nothing but grass?
Dude, I've never seen so many fucking grasshoppers in my fucking life. Just across the fucking road. Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, no, it's the worst because I go biking that, right? And they don't get out of the way. Like, so we have a really nice bike trail where I am, right?
Okay.
It's like a 14, 15 mile thing. The problem is, come July or so, it's covered in grasshoppers. You can't go over like maybe 4 or 5 miles an hour because if you do, they will hit you in the face. It's not like, oh, I don't want this to happen. It has happened to me at least half a dozen times. I'm over it. I hate locusts. I hate grasshoppers. I am sure there's a special level of hell for them. And I never want to see it. So, yeah. No. They're terrible. Oh, dude. That was actually another thing, too. When I was out in Utah, are you aware of what tarantula hawks are? By chance?
Oh, I know what they are. I know what they are. I saw them in Texas, man. Like they fucking and and New Mexico. Like they are. I see them and I'm just like I know they ain't gonna fuck with me, so I ain't gonna fuck with them.
Yeah, that's the thing. Here's the thing, though. I've been told they were very mean, from what I've been told. There was like a number of times they would get real close to me, and I was like, just leave me alone, please. I just oh gosh, what is it? I was a kid last time I got stung by a bee or wasp or nothing like that. But I had one that had crawled in my pants. What? And then I sat on it. And then it stung me. And then it stung me all the way up my back. I really hate wasps. And anything that flies and stings. So
wait, a wasp did that?
Yep. I was walking home in a rainstorm.
This typewritered its way up.
Basically.
Fuck, man.
What is it? It was like one and then like maybe 3 or 4 on my back. It's been maybe a decade. And last time I was ever stung, but gosh, it was horrible. It was horrible.
The only time I've ever been...
Do you have any phobias of insects or anything like that?
No. The only time I've ever really been stung, well, other than this summer, was by a wasp. And I was mowing the grass whenever I was a kid in Indiana. And I was mowing the grass, and I went by the clothesline, which we had this clothesline thing set up, and there was a hornet's nest inside the T-pole, right? And there was a hornet's nest in there, and I was mowing, and a wasp came out and went, whack! Fucking stung me right above the eye. I felt it go whack, and it felt like someone just like flicked the top of my eye. And I was like, what the fuck? And then suddenly it was like, it was like, I was screaming. And then my dad comes out and just fucking snatches me up and brings me in. And he's like, what happened? And I was like, I think I got stung. And then he looks at me and he goes, yeah, I'd say you got stung. It also looks like you got punched in the face.
Got a big lump above your eye?
Dude, oh no. My entire eye, like, well, not my eye, but all around my eye swelled up, and it looked like someone punched me right in the eye. It swelled up so big.
That's terrible.
And my dad is allergic to bees and stuff, so he's out there going, like, trying to dodge.
With the raid?
But yeah, he ended up killing him. Yeah. But by the way, so this summer, I had an infestation of yellow jackets.
Oh, no.
Right above my back door. And so I had a light fixture, right? I have a light fixture right above my back door of my house. Yeah. And they snuck their way behind it. Okay. And they made this huge fucking nest. And at first I was like, whatever, and eventually it just kept coming and there's more and more. And I was like, okay, I probably need to do something about it. So I got this foam stuff and I tried it. And what was happening was I was just spraying the outside I wasn't actually getting into the actual hole, right? And so I was just killing a few of them, and then I opened the door one day, and to let my dog out, well, one of my dogs out, and then I was like, "Ow, what the fuck?" And I smacked my arm. I was like, when I look at the ground, I was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Oh, I think I just got stung by a yellow jacket." It was kind of a little bit worse than a sweat bee. Have you ever been stung by a sweat bee?
A sweat bee?
Yeah.
No, here's the thing:
it's like a flying
every single
ant.
time I was stung, I was a kid.
Oh, it's
okay.
like a flying
Maybe
ant.
I have. Yeah.
It's like a flying
I've been
ant, but
stung, I
it's
know
like,
about 'em.
and it's like a white light speck. Like it kind of, it's like ow, and you're like, what the hell, you know? But it was a little bit worse than that, and it made a lump. And I was like, holy shit! I just got stung by a yellow jacket, and I was like, okay, that wasn't too bad. But I can imagine how awful it would be if I had 30 of these motherfuckers went. Like, I'd fucking be awful, right? And then I have like 300 of these motherfuckers above my house, like up in this, up in the little behind this light fixture. I was like, okay. And I tried it 3 or 4 times trying to kill these things off. So I went to the Dollar General this time, and I bought the most off-brand shit.
Plus
right?
Dollar Generals.
I bought the most off-brand shit. I bought different brands. I just fucking got them all together. I got the non-foam stuff. And I was like, these motherfuckers are going to die today, right? I go up there, and I poured like a gallon of shit into there, right? And I was able to actually get it in there.
Yeah.
And then I didn't just see yellow jackets crawling out and falling and dying. I saw hornets, like 3 inches, 3 inch long hornets, fucking coming out too. And I was like, they were living together. No, they were just like normal hornets. Like they were that big, each one. And I was like,
I see.
Oh shit! And you just see them coming out, and whenever they fly off, they look like they were drunk because they're dying from the poison. And I was just like, oh my god, there's so many of them. And I was like, oh thank god, they're all fucking dead.
I cannot even believe you went, oh, it's a yellow jacket nest. I'll just let that sit there. Like
it's fine. I tried to foam it. And it was like, oh, it may take a day or two. And I'm like, okay. I spray it and I wait a week and
do you know if they're the queens? If those were the queens at all by chance?
No, they don't. So as far as I know, yellow jackets, they kind of, from what I understood, they kind of operate independently, but eventually they come together to create a nest, and then they go from there. Like I don't think that they actually have a queen because of just how the nature of it they are, because they don't have an exterior. Well, yeah, yellow jackets have a I think they have different kinds of nests. Like they just kind of conglomerate and they work together. Because they also, they might do their shit. They might have a queen, because they're also known as ground hornets. Yellow jackets are. So they also go underground. And I'm assuming that's why they are fucking dead up here, right? I'm assuming this is why they're up here, because it gets down to negative 50 where I fucking live, right? And I'm like, that's the only way they're gonna fucking survive, is they go underground. Dude. And they ain't gonna fucking live in my house during the fucking winter. They're gonna die, like, because it just gets too cold for them. But
no, actually though, yeah. I mean, that has to be it. I mean, I feel like anything up there either has to like live underground or be made of snow.
Underwater, or be underwater. I mean, that's how shit, I guess that's how shit lives out here. Like beavers, they build a beaver dam and they stay under the fucking water. Like that's how they stay warm. The wolves, they go underground.
We have climates.
Bears,
we have climates kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like up high in the mountains, we have places that are like on average 9,000-10,000 feet. Not to mention, obviously, we have our 14ers out here.
Yeah,
right?
we ain't that high up here.
But you get those really, really, really cold areas where it does get down to like negative 40, negative 50. Down here on the plains, I think the coldest day I've ever had was negative 25, and that was nuts. That was cold as hell. I can't imagine negative 50, dude.
Okay, so after negative 20,
to carbon dioxide becoming dry ice. Than water melting.
After negative 20, you don't really feel it anymore. Like it all feels the same. But you just need
it's just cold as
warmer
shit.
stuff. Like if whenever I get into my vehicle, right, during the winter, that motherfucker's on the max heat, right, and you're like, yeah, it's still cold. Like you put your hand, not even like you don't even touch the window. You're like 6 inches from the window, and you could feel the cold. You're like,
Oh, yeah.
like death
You
is
can feel it sapping the
just
heat
inches
from the
away.
car.
You're like, death is just inches away. You're like,
Gosh.
that's why I always keep
very much
an
no, thank
Arctic
you.
snow or an Arctic a sleeping bag in my trunk. Specifically for that fucking reason. In case I run off the road, and I'm like, all right, well,
Oh yeah.
I won't get out. I'll pull down the seat, and then roll up the little floor mat, pull up the floor or pull up the back thing, and pull out a sleeping bag, and just curl up in it and
Yeah.
hunker down and put the little hood up. So I mean that's
Well, it's
all
like a
you
mummy
can do.
bag, right? Like I have one.
It's
I have
a
one that
mummy
goes down
sleeping bag.
to just 0.
Yeah, this
But
one's good
obviously,
for
in like a super cold one.
Yeah.
The
it's good for like
can I tell you a story
25.
behind that though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I am famous at my school for the wrong reason.
That's not
I
good.
nearly froze to death.
Oh.
I was out. It was a trip I had out near Death Valley, right? And I'd been going in like November. It was like November 8th, November 9th, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
My sleeping bag went down to like maybe 40 or so. It was just like a summer bag, but we're in Death fucking Valley.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm not thinking in the winter it's going to get that cold, right? And I was fine in Death Valley.
Oh, it just gets cold at night.
The thing is, the third night, we didn't camp in Death Valley. We drove into Nevada and camped up on a salt flat at about 3,000 feet.
Okay.
And that was fine until about midnight, when I got so cold I was like, shit, I can't stay in my tent. I'm gonna go get in one of the vans. And so I bring my sleeping bag and shit. I go into the van, right? Just try to get a little bit more insulation, something a little bit more to get some heat, right? And so I was fine. I slept another 3-4 hours until about 4 a.m. where I woke up and I couldn't feel my fingers or my toes, and I'd stopped shivering. And so I was basically sitting there for 3 hours until the sun had come up, obviously convinced like I was going to freeze to death and die, and they were going to find my body, and like I was never going to get to talk to my family again. And that was like, shit, right? So obviously I was okay, but the first fucking thing I said was like, I think I have frostbite. I think I have frostbite. Am I gonna die?
You know,
lordy, dude. Lordy. It got about 25 degrees colder than my sleeping bag could handle. Sorry, I meant to mention that. So it was just miserable. Oh my gosh. And then I bought my nice mummy sleeping bag. I don't get cold anymore when I camp. I have that. I have hot hands, you know? Like, I bring everything. I bring everything.
Exactly. You know,
my friends would bring like a handle of Tito's too.
Oh yeah,
on those trips. And so that was always fun.
Get a little warm.
Yeah.
A little warm. My dad, he said that when he was in Korea, he goes, "It got so cold in Korea. I understood why people worship the sun."
I understood why people worship the sun.
I understand it now,
Oh
right?
my
I understand what it
gosh.
means now
Yeah,
because of where I fucking live. But I was like,
No, actually though.
huh. That sounds logical. I understood.
It really does.
He was like, yeah, we prayed for the sun to come up every morning. It was so cold.
Oh my gosh. That's a fantastic story, but I bet in the moment he was like,
Oh, he fucking hated it. Yeah, he's out near the fucking DMZ during the winter. He's like, oh, it's so cold.
Oh. Gosh. Yeah, I'm glad I live in a more temperate climate. You know, we have nice summers. We have temperate seasons, and then there's winter, and it's not a terrible winter. It's a cold winter. We get snow. We have a white Christmas, but I don't freeze my nuts off.
Yeah,
and that's the important part.
It is.
So,
it is very much so.
Anyway,
but are you planning on going to any? I know this is kind of off topic, but are you planning on going to any furry conventions at all?
See, it's not that I'm not planning to. Like, I would like to. The problem is, I need to get my career job. I have to get settled in down there. I wanna, like, where I'm going, right? I want to learn the area because it still is all new to me, or quite a bit new to me, and so it's exciting. But I still have stuff I need to do with that.
Of where you're moving to?
Not to mention that travel is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, travel's fucking expensive. So I'd love to, and one of these days I will get to a convention or a con. Today's not that day.
Oh, I understand.
And frankly, I'd rather go look at rocks. I I was
Go to
actually down
Rockcon.
at the Denver Gem and Mineral Show. I've
okay.
been to some of the biggest ones in the world. I went to the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show, which is the biggest one in the world. It has 21 or 22 shows that come with it, and so it is literally miles upon miles upon miles of nothing but rocks and minerals and fossils. It is amazing, and the best prices you'll ever see too. Just insane deals. Same thing. I went to one in Denver recently, and I think it took me 5.5 hours. And this was a smaller one, right? It took me 5.5 hours to walk through all the vendors.
Dude, that's how I am at gun shows, bro. Like, that's how I am at gun shows, man. I'm just like,
oh my gosh.
So much history here.
Yeah. You have to haggle with some of those folks, though. Like, there was a specimen there I wanted to get. It was a specimen of vanadinite. And vanadinite's like an orange hexagonal crystal. It's made up of vanadium, chlorine, and lead. The point is, though, like, it was a $15 specimen. There was a sign for 15. Like, I come over. I'm like, hey, I'd like this. The guy goes, 25. And I go, no, 15. And he's, okay. Just fine.
Yeah, we just...
Like, bitch, I can fucking read. Like, I'm sorry. Oh, my gosh. So, no. Rocks are really awesome. Like, this is something I could talk about for literally ever. I think we spoke about it, early on. Like, it is genuinely one of my biggest passions. Something I love about the degree, and I love about the just having that knowledge, I guess, is it's almost like you can read the world. And I know that sounds kind of stupid, but it's like I don't look at a mountain now and go, oh, that's a nice mountain. I look at a mountain now and I go, gee, I wonder what rock it's made of. I wonder what orogeny this was part of, right? Which an orogeny is just like a mountain building event. I try to figure out like what's the deformation looking like in the area. Like we have some hills that are near us that are all these sedimentary beds that used to be flat like this, right? They got tilted up, but they didn't get tilted up perfectly, and so you actually have them in segments like this. And so you can literally walk through geologic history as you travel perpendicular across it. It's really interesting. You find different fossils in each unit. You find, obviously, different lithologies, which is just types of rocks. It's just an amazing major, an amazing science, and frankly, I encourage anyone to go learn it. I actually, funny enough, got the inspiration to go become a geologist, partially because a YouTuber I had been watching since I was in middle school was also a geologist.
Wow.
And he would talk about it from time to time, and I always found it really interesting. Do you know who Splattercat is, by chance?
I don't, so I ain't gonna pretend that I do.
They were they do first impressions videos on indie games, and so they do indie game spotlights, and they have something new like all the time. They're just a fantastic channel. They're funny. They know what they're doing. Go check them out, kind of a thing. After you're done watching this podcast, by chance. So. Oh man. No. Oh, but funny enough, what is it? I had a professor in college that sounded like him, and it kind of made me do a double take because I'm like, no fucking way. Like, let me just check. Okay, no, he's not teaching. We're fine. But it was it was kind of a fun thing.
God, so I think I've had one person. Speaking of the, it's like they took a double take. I think I've had one person go, I think I know your voice. I was like, oh yeah?
Oh my gosh, real life? IRL?
That was at Denfur, yeah. And I was like,
oh, that's cool.
Huh. Oh yeah, is that so? And they look at my little badge and they're like, I think I know that name. And they get on their phone and they're like, I follow you on TikTok. And I was like, yay, someone recognized me.
Yay.
Yay.
Congratulations, you're famous.
The one person.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, I think it's so cool that you do this kind of stuff though, man. Like, back in the day, like I had done a YouTube channel, right? I ran that for 5 years. I had done kind of like gameplay stuff on like Waved Events city building games.
Okay.
And I had a decent following. I was getting 500, 600, 700 views, and this was back on YouTube, right? Not TikTok. I don't know what view counts look like on there. But even some of my better ones, I have like 6,000. I think maybe my best one's like 11 or 12,000 views. So, and that's proper watch time all the way through the thing.
Oh yeah.
Not just I clicked on this and wasn't interested. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Anyway.
What made you stop doing that?
Although. So this is actually, I stopped it because I was going to the Navy. And unfortunately that didn't work out for me.
That's right.
But it was like one of those things, I had done it for such a long time. I'd gone through, didn't work out. It was like, well, shit, I got to kind of figure stuff out now. So we did, and we're here, and now I'm a geologist, and we've talked about that. So come on, Arm, stop doing weird things. Funny enough, though, I was talking to you about this a little bit before we started.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on a mod for a game called Vintage Story. Think Minecraft, but incredibly realistic. Like, there's proper seasons. It simulates where your latitude is. The day length changes. You're incredibly fertile. Like, literally a wolf bite or two will just straight up kill you. You have to flint knap to make your tools. Clay forming. Just incredibly detailed, immersive systems. I love it very much. It's taken me 68 hours to build and finish my house. So, but that being said, the geology, while it was good, wasn't perfectly realistic for me, and I wanted it to be more realistic. And so me, being the complete nerd and dork that I am, I decided, yeah, let's add 12 more rock types. Let's, do more tool sets with them. Let's give all these different rocks new functions. And I'm now in the process of adding more minerals to the game because I'm like, look, you have a lot, but it's not all of them. So
aren't you afraid that maybe people that look into that will be like, it's too complicated? Have you ever worried about that?
It's not that it's just like, okay, there's just stone. Like, the game has, I'm going to rattle off some of them. It has granite, peridotite, basalt, sandstone, shale, chert. Like, it has realistic geology. But when I put that all in, like, a spreadsheet and I was trying to figure out, like, all the different composition differences it's missing, right? It was missing a number of them, and so I wanted to kind of add more detail to that. So the initial feedback I've had thus far, I've had 300-400 people play it so far. They've really enjoyed it. Obviously there were some bugs I've had to iron out, and I've thus done that. But yeah, like, I understand where you'd be coming from, though, if it was like Minecraft, and it's just like, there's 15,000 different types of stone. So. I think that would get a little tedious after a while. Yeah.
Having all the different minerals. Like, what do I do with this? Oh, it just looks pretty. Oh, okay. I'll just put it in this shelf.
Okay, yeah.
I just put it in the box.
Yeah.
It's like, God damn, I got one mineral, or like one unit of all these minerals, and I've got one fucking crate of just random shit, right?
That's actually how it is, though, in fucking real life for me right now. I've been packing to move, right?
Yeah.
You know those giant black tubs with the yellow lids? They're like, not just a 55, they're like a 70-gallon
I think so. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I
filled it with rocks, and I don't have enough space.
Is it the one with the fucking latches that go like that? Over the...
It's kind of like that, but a little bit bigger. Over the lid, but larger than that. Like, it's gigantic. And I filled it with rocks. The first day I thought, okay, that's done. And as I've continued to pack, every fucking box I open or drawer I pull out, there is a rock. It literally... It feels like I'm an addict, dude. Like, excuse me, an addict. Finding, like, all... Like, I quit, right?
Are.
And it's like, man, I forgot about this dish. Oh, I forgot about this. You know?
Put in the rock box.
Rock addict, yeah.
Put in the rock box.
I just really, I feel bad for the person who's gonna end up moving me in, like, 40 years. They're like, what's in this box, rocks? Yes. Yes. Yeah. That's my Galena collection. Hopefully it's not too heavy. Galena's a lead mineral, so it's heavy as shit. For what it is.
What'd you do? Get a boulder of it, and you're just like, oh, I can't live without my boulder. That's a nice boulder.
It's not a boulder. It's a rock.
It's a rock.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's actually funny you mentioned that. I have boulders of stuff I've collected in the yard, and I'm not bringing it with me because it's too heavy and I can't fit it. But I have like a giant. I mean, I say boulder. Boulder's a proper size classification. They're big. They're like cobbles. It's like the size of your head.
Cobbles.
I have chrysocolla out there, which is like a green copper ore. I have rose quartz, a giant boulder of that. I got a big smoky quartz cluster. It's a low quality that's sitting out in the yard, you know. But maybe that's the bad thing about becoming a geologist. Maybe don't do that. So
remember, if you become a geologist, you're gonna have a lot of rocks in your house. So just beware.
Yes. You found some fun stuff, though. One of the things I was able to get on that topaz trip, it was called a honeycomb calcite. and it is a yellow variation of calcite that is cracked in a way that it looks like honeycomb, like bees, right?
Okay.
Not only that, though, I have a few pieces of it that, when shown under a UV light, glow green and orange. And it's not just like they just have that color like that. They hold it. If I take the light off of it in the dark, it continues to glow.
Oh, so
for a certain period of time, like 10, 20 seconds.
Oh wow, that's kind of neat how it holds the energy. Kind of nifty.
It's really, really cool stuff. I have a buddy of mine. We're doing a rock trade soon. He's bringing me some things called Euperlites, and they're like these yellow stones that or yellow-orange stones that glow, and they're just lovely. So, yeah, minerals are cool.
Yeah, they seem like it.
Man.
I like collecting bullets, right? But that's a whole different kind of rock, huh?
Yeah, you've just refined it,
you're right. You're right.
But
actually, I used to smelt bullets whenever I was a kid with my dad. There was a point, that we were hurting on money, right? Hurting to pay bills. So so one thing that my dad always raised me with was, my foot's doing weird things, is if you don't have, or what do you say? When money is worthless, ammunition is priceless. So what we did was we would get wheel weights, right? And we had our own little crucible, like an actual smelting thing, right? And we would smelt down lead, take off the slag, and we would make buckshot. We would make, different kinds of shot. We would smell actual 9mm bullets. We did all sorts of things, right? And we would reload our own ammunition, and we made sure that we had ammunition, because with ammunition you could defend yourself and you could feed yourself. So that's how we were raised, right? So there was a few points where we had to kill animals for food, and because we just didn't have any food. There was points where we didn't have electricity, and we would go out and we would kill for food. And I talked to a conservation officer years later, and I was like, so because I think at that point I can't remember what I was doing, but I was talking to one, and I was talking to him about subsistence living, right? And I told him that back years and years ago, whenever I was a kid, I was like, we killed outside of season, but we only took what we needed for our family, right? And he was like, it's kind of interesting that you would come to me about this, but I think that you understand this stuff more than most people coming off the street, simply because you were only trying to take what your family needed. Right? We never took any more than exactly what we needed, and because my dad always taught us to respect the land. But that was one thing, we always recycle. Like, we would go to the auto shop and be like, hey, can we get some wheel weights? And they're like, yeah, well, I ain't doing nothing with them. Like, they just give us the shit out of them. Like, hey, free bullets.
Take them, melt them down, bullets,
Yeah, so we did all sorts of things. So, it was definitely an interesting childhood.
Yeah.
But
when I was younger, I did the same thing. Not for bullets, not like melting them down for actual useful purposes.
That's not very common.
I had a buddy of mine, and we would go over there, and I took a bike pump and a campfire, right? And we'd pump the hell out of the fire and heat it up, give it more oxygen. But we had a crucible over there, and so we'd melt aluminum, tin, easier metals, stuff like that. But there was a time I'd gone to the gun range with my grandfather, right? And I had taken a number of bullets there, and brought those back, and I was wanting to melt them down with my friend. And I did not consider the fact that lead fumes are a thing.
Oh yeah.
And I felt like shit for 2 weeks. I was legitimately worried like shit that I give myself lead poisoning. I've most certainly given myself arsenic poisoning. I licked arsenic salts in Death Valley, and I didn't realize they were arsenic salts until I had done that. Maybe that's why I'm like this.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe.
Maybe. But
That's why you're a
yeah,
furry.
dude,
We like
melting stuff down is fun as hell. Yeah, it's like, yep, I got the brain damage. I'm so smart.
Brain damblage.
Damage, yeah, brain damage. Oh my gosh. No, but oh man, this has been a lot of fun though, buddy. Hey, thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. And I think that we had a good conversation.
No, I hated it. Yes, I had a fantastic time. Thank you very much for having me on.
If you ever want to come on again, you let me know, and we'll shoot the shit again, man. And are you gonna?
Okay,
Are you
I'll
doing?
call you in 5 minutes.
Are you doing any more social media stuff, or are you done?
So here's the thing: the whole greenhouse thing was my last little gasp of
Gotcha.
participating in general fucking. I don't have an Instagram. I don't have a Facebook. I don't have a Twitter or fucking X or whatever the hell they're calling it these days. I don't have TikTok. I don't have nothing. I live under a rock. It's what I study. I am happy there. So if you guys want to talk to me, you can grab my Discord.
You have to
Just
find him.
Small_Fern.
You have to
Have
find
fun
him
with
over
that.
there in the furry world.
Yeah. No, but genuinely though, this is probably really stupid. If you want to talk about rocks, talk to me, please. I fucking love rocks.
Yeah,
I want to share
hit him up.
the good word of the rocks.
Found a good friend.
I'm like a Mormon.
Well, I was gonna say, hey, that's how we found Beryl, right? That's how we found our friend Beryl. Went through a couple promiscuous places, and for some reason
Yes.
he was there. And I don't know what the other geologists were doing, but by God, you guys hit it off, and you guys are like, oh hell yeah, let's talk about rocks. And I was like, all right, well we're gonna go over here and we go dance. You guys talk about your rocks.
Yeah. You can leave us in the corner with our pebbles, right? And you go have fun. So, oh my gosh,
But
funny
I thank
shit,
you again.
man. Funny
But I thank
shit.
you again,
Of
and
course.
and thank you all for joining us. Bye.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up